Welcome back to my channel. It is Taylor, Tay, or DollieTheRebel here, and I am back with another video. Now this video is very, I don't know how to explain it, but this video is basically my story. This story is something very, this story is one of my fears that actually came into reality. Disclaimer, I am a PK or a GPK, and if you don't know what a PK is or a GPK is, it's basically a preacher's kid or a grandparent preacher's kid, whatever. But my grandfather is or was a preacher, and my mom, she can preach. That's another story in itself. But yeah, so this is basically a part of my, if you're a Christian, my testimony. If you don't believe in God or believe in anything, this is just my story. This is just a test and a trial, something that I went through with my mom. This is just something near and dear to my heart. I don't know what my reaction or how I'm going to respond as I'm speaking through this video. So if I don't cry, don't think that it's just like, oh, I'm just blunt about it. I'm just like really trying to hold it together, internalize it, because I have been planning on doing this for a while now, and this actually happened right after I started my YouTube channel. So this story is when my mother and I became homeless. So I probably titled it 16 and Homeless. But this is my story. So before I start the story, make sure you guys, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and all comments are welcome, negative, whatever. This is, if you're gonna be negative, this is not for you. If you're, whatever you have to say that is not that's not like positive or whatever, because this is not for me. This is for someone who is going through a rough time right now. I know people in my personal life that are going through some really, really rough patches, and this is an encouragement to let people know that you can get through the hard part. This is the hard part. I don't want to cry, but this is the hard part, you guys. This is not the easy part. And after you get through this, it gets better. Just keep believing. Just keep at it. Just keep pushing through. You're going to have your moments. I'm going to talk about some moments. I'm going to talk about some moments, but it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Just keep praying, keep believing. It's going to get better. And you just have to stay encouraged. Whatever you believe in, even if you don't believe in anything, you believe in yourself. And self is one of the biggest things as well. So it's like, just as if you have to have something to believe in. So whatever you believe in, keep believing in that. So now let's get into this story. So a few months prior to this event happening, I was in New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans, if you're new to my channel. Every year I go to New Orleans for the summer after I finish my semester at school. So at this time I was going into my junior year of high school. And I was visiting my grandmother. I had just started my YouTube channel. I was about 16 years old when I started. And I went back home, or I came back here, Atlanta. I live in Atlanta now, so I came back to Atlanta to start school. This was my first week of school. First week of school going fine. A little backstory about me as a child, especially when I moved here. I got into a lot of trouble. My mom is very strict about school. Like, my mom's not a mean person at all. Like, she's real cool. But she cracks down on me about school. I'm 21 now, in like my 3rd year of college, and she still don't play that with me. Like, she does not play that. She's like, Taylor, get it together. And so my mom was always up at my school when I was like in middle school and elementary school. So it's a Friday, the last day of the week of the first week of school. So I'm in my 3rd period chemistry class, and I'm just sitting there, you know, taking my notes, whatever. And the people at the front desk get on the intercom. They buzz in. Excuse me, Mr. So-and-so, can you send Taylor Burke down to the security desk, please? So I'm like, okay. It's the first week of school. What did I do? Like, the school year has not even begun, and like, why am I being called down to the front desk? I haven't done anything. What did I do now? God, what did I do? Like, because I was always in trouble, it is like second nature. Like, oh, I didn't do something. What did I do? So I'm starting thinking, did I do anything? Like, all my homework assignments done. Like, what did I do? Like, I'm panicking. Like, I'm like, okay, what's going on? It's the first week of school. So I'm walking down the hall really fast. I go down the stairs. I go to the front office. And I meet my mom at the security desk. And so my mom has this look on her face, and I could tell something wasn't right. So I'm like, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? Why are you here? And so she tells me, she said, Taylor, when you go back to the house, when you get off from school, don't try to go in the house. Just stand outside in the driveway and wait for me to get home. She said, you can't get in the house. It's a security lock on the house, on the front door. So don't, try to get in. Don't try to unlock it. Just stand there and wait for me if I'm not already there. So I'm looking at her, and I'm like, okay. I'm confused. Like, what's going on? She doesn't want to tell me. So she's starting to get teary-eyed. So, and I'm like, are we moving? Because another piece of the backstory of me moving here to Atlanta, I used to move a lot. So I'm like, okay, are we moving? Like, what's going on? Are we getting evicted? Like, what's going on? Major detail about this story is a part of how we ended up in this situation. My 8th grade year of middle school, like, I had just finished that year, and I want to say it was like June or July, and my mom just got terminated from her job. So at this point, I want to say it was like her fourth year of being unemployed. Because she was unemployed from my 8th grade year till I finished high school. So I was used to my mom being home when I got home from school, from freshman year of high school till senior year of high school, up until I graduated. And so that's kind of like part of the reason, this kind of happened. And so I'm just like looking like, okay, are we moving? What's going on? I'm confused. I start guessing. I play the guessing game. Like, I already knew what it was. I just kind of said it. I was like, are we getting evicted? Like, I was like, what's going on? Like, what happened? Because we have had issues with the landlords before in that area where we lived. And so she's like, don't worry about it, you know, we'll talk about it later, da da da, whatever she said to me. And she gave me a hug, and she was like, okay, go back to class, whatever. So I'm going back to class, and in my mind, I am freaking out. And I run into one of my teachers from my sophomore year. He was my physical science teacher. So I ran into him, and he was like, he could tell, like, it was written all over my face. And he was like, Taylor, are you okay? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't know what's going on. My mom just came up here, da da da. So, like, I'm panicking, and I'm telling him, and he, like, I start crying. And so he kind of, like, stepped me to the side, and he was, like, talking to me, you know, trying to get me to calm down before I went back into class. So now fast forward to the end of the day, it's time for me to go home. I go home. None of our stuff was outside, but there was a lockbox on the door, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I didn't try to get in or anything like that. So my next door neighbor, she had just pulled up, and she was home, and I was talking to her, and I was just like, I don't know where my mom is, and, you know, I can't get inside the house, and da 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 da. So my mom pulls up with one of her friends, you know, to come get me. And so my mom and I get, you know, my mom tells me get in the car and whatever. And so we go to the U-Haul place, the storage place. So, you know, we're in a storage place, and so I'm basically realizing what's happening. I finally know that we've been evicted, that we are, like, we have no home. So we stayed in a hotel for, like, that weekend. But I remember when we were at that storage place, I was just a mess. I was crying. Like, I was like, why is, like, in my mind, I was just like, God, why are you doing this? Why is this happening? Why would you allow? Like, I was just so angry. I was angry. I started to, like, I almost lost my faith and my belief in God. Like, I was just like, why is this happening? Like, God, like, why are you allowing this to happen? Like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? When are we going to eat? Like, I just started going down the list, like, why? Like, why? And, you know, I was talking to my mom, so I told her I was like, okay, Taylor, this is not you. So when I talked to my mom, I was like, Mom, this is where my mind is. And she was like, you know, she's like, it's okay to ask God questions. She was like, but don't lose your faith. Keep believing. You know, throughout this whole process, my mom kind of had to encourage me and keep me from, like, just going into this dark place of just, like, whatever. And just, it is what it is. I don't even care. Like, it's just because I would have gotten to that place. Like, this whole road was just something so crazy. So we stayed in the hotel for that weekend with my grandparents because they had some event. So we stayed there with them. And I believe Monday or Sunday came, we went to church. And one of the church members offered for us to stay with her in her home. Her home was still in my school district. I would be able to catch the bus. And she said, you know, God told me to do this. So we stayed with her from, like, August or, like, September. I can't really remember. Can't really give you a time frame. But it was, like, somewhere right around when I started school. So we were staying with her, and that just went left. You know, the thing about being a Christian, if God tells you to do something, do it. But don't take it into your own will, or what we call your flesh. And in her flesh, what she was doing was being greedy. Greed is a sin, and she was being greedy. God, if God placed something in your heart, do it because this is your assignment. But don't ask for more, because if God told you to do it, God is going to make a way. So, but whatever. So she starts asking for money, and we only had a little bit of money. We only had a little bit of money that we were getting on a regular because of just other things. My mom was in school, and then a situation with my dad and his death. So that was the only money that we had to survive off of. And she was asking for a good portion of that. And at this time, we weren't getting food stamps, so it was like she wanted that too. And it was like, my mom was like, I can't give you that amount. This is a ridiculous amount. This is all that I have. This is what we agreed on, that I can pay you or whatever. And she kept asking for more. She started getting really disrespectful towards my mom. She did my mom nasty texts and emails, and it was just really, really, really out of hand. I remember my mom and her got into an argument, and it led up to the point where my mom couldn't take it anymore. I fell asleep one night in the room that I was staying in. I was asleep, and I heard a lot of movement. So the lady took the bed. She told her kids to take the bed out of the room that my mom was staying in. And I don't remember if she took, like, in the room, it was like over in the corner, because I believe it was like an attic door, like the attic was above the room, but over in the corner it was a bed. And then over here, because it was like, I don't know if it was like a day room or whatever, and it was like she had a sofa in there, so I want to say she like took the cushions off the sofa and basically trying to force my mom to sleep on the floor. Okay. And meanwhile, I was in the other room, in another room that she had in her home, and I was asleep. So I hear everything that's going. So I eventually like start to wake up. I hear everything that's going on, and I get up and I go in the room, and I see my mom packing up her stuff. And I'm looking at my mom looking at me, and my mom is furious. She's like, Taylor, what are you doing up? I was like, I heard all the movement. I hear like what's going on. And my mom was like, my mom was basically trying to get me to go back to sleep or whatever. I don't remember. But my mom was like, hey, she's like, Taylor, she's trying to make me sleep on the floor. I'm not doing this. You know, she's really disrespecting me. I can't take this no more. We got to get up out of here. I can't take it no more. So, you know, my mom calls up one of her friends. So when her friends, you know, comes over to pick us up, so I get up. I done put on my shoes. I started throwing on some clothes, and I started packing up my stuff. I went downstairs. I, you know, packed up our food that we paid for. Like, everything that belonged to us came with us. And where we lived in this area of where we live, if you live in Atlanta. And shout out to my girls, the real women of YouTube of Atlanta. I'm not sure who knows. If you know this area, comment down below. But we lived in this area off of Panola. And on Panola Road, there is a Walmart. Across the street from the Walmart is a red roof hotel motel type of situation. And behind Walmart is neighborhoods. That's where we lived. And so we ended up going to the red roof inn or hotel or whatever it is. I don't remember. I think it's called the Red Roof Inn. And so we packed up and we went over there. We stayed there for a little while. And we stayed there for a little while, and it was better than being there with that woman. It was better than being. it was better than it was better being in that little hotel motel than being in that lady's house. It was better, you know, in spite of the circumstances, but it was better. So you know, I was still going to school, you know, just walked down to the bus stop that was in front of her neighborhood, caught the school bus, whatever. And then another lady at the church said she had a friend that allowed us to stay with her for some time. So we stayed with her friend for some time. It was better than where we were. This was like, by this time, this was October. My birthday had just passed. So now I'm 17. So now we're like in downtown Decatur, or somewhere in Decatur. And so we were staying with her for a while. She gave us up until the new year. So we stayed there. We were pretty comfortable. It was a better environment. I don't want to say happy, but it was a more peaceful environment. But just to get to where we had to go, because we lived in DeKalb, in the DeKalb area, and I went to school in DeKalb County, we had to like walk almost, I think I want to say about a mile, just to get to a MARTA bus stop. And it was so cold. It was so cold. And no one in that household offered to give us a ride, you know, take us to where we need to go. At 5 o'clock in the morning. That means I was up at about 4:30 to get ready for school. We had to be out of the door by about 5:30 or 5:45. Walk about a mile to get to a bus stop in order to get to DeKalb, closer to our area. So we took about 2 buses, and then I had to take the school bus, and my mom took Gretna, something like that. It's another service that goes a little bit into the city, I believe, or something like that. But my mom took a certain bus to get to school. And same thing to get back to where we were staying. So we did a lot of walking, okay? And it was a lot of cold days, like 30 degrees, cold. Like I could have caught frostbite in my hands, cold. My fingers were numb, cold. Bundled up and had scarf, gloves, coat, backpack with textbooks in it. Cold. Sweatpants. Cold. Like, in Atlanta, it has its moments of where it gets cold. And I'm from New Orleans. So it just, like 40s is probably like the coldest that it might get. So 20s, 30s. It's cold. It's cold. And we had to walk that long distance just to get to where we were going. So we spent maybe an hour and 30 minutes in a cold weather just to even start our day. So, once our time with this lady came up, we left, and another lady from the church, this particular lady, mama, please don't laugh, I'm trying not to be shady either. But this lady was like a sister or an auntie to me. Now, for those who don't know me, I have pursued modeling. I've been pursuing model. I model. Basically freelance. I just do everything under my creative eye, my vision, and everything. So this woman, this particular lady, she would take me to my casting calls. She wanted to be my physical trainer. She was like kind of like trying to be my mentor, because I feel like a part of her knew that I have the potential to be a public figure or to be somebody. I have to make the right connections. I have to it's something that I have to get to. It's someone that I have to meet in order for these things to happen. And it was like she wanted to be there when it happened. It's like, you know, certain people do certain things for you because they know, like, when it happened, they want their name to be in that thank you letter. They want to be in that thank you speech. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like it was that. When I needed help for that, she helped me with that. So so she allowed us to come stay with her. Her mother's such a sweetheart. I love that. I love her mother still to this day. Such a sweet lady, despite of everything that has happened. Her mother was nothing but sweet to me. And so, you know, my mom and I stayed with her for a while. Everything was pretty cool. At this point, my mom was, you know, she had a little gig. She had like a temp job or whatever. So she was, you know, making a few good dollars. You know, I had went to work with her a few times. She had an event that she did at Atlantic Station, and that's why I'm always at Atlantic Station. But when throughout all of this, Atlantic Station became like it brought me peace to be in this city. So we was in the city, and we, you know, while she was working, and she had an event that she did, and I went with her. And yeah, Atlantic Station is like my favorite place to be. And so we stayed there for a little while. I think maybe like 2 weeks, if that. And then it got to a point to where she had a conversation with my mom. I'm guessing I was asleep. I don't know what be going on when I'm asleep, but I had to be asleep or somewhere where I wasn't around or whatever. So my mom came to me and she sat me down and she told me, she said, Taylor, we have to be out of here. I think by like either Monday or Tuesday. And I want to say when my mom was telling me this, it was like maybe a Thursday or a Friday or something. It was like at the end of the week. So we had a few days to get out of her apartment. And when my mom was telling me this, you know, she said that my mom told me that she said that she needs to get her home back to normalcy and da 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 da. And it broke my heart. How could someone that you know, it's like, oh, you're like my niece, you're like my sister, I want to do all of this for you, and girl, keep doing this and take you to go do all the things that you could ever dream of. And when you really need their help, they literally kick you out. When you literally have nowhere else to go, you have resort to nothing. And it broke me. Someone I was so close knit to. Like, I have met her nephew, I have met her niece, her mom, whoever else I had met with, we have connected. Like, it's certain things about me that I love about myself. Like, she has really brought the creative out of me. I never knew like I enjoyed painting, or that I had that creative eye to paint. Like, she brought that out of me. And it hurt when my mom told me that, and she just became dead to me. I'm gonna be honest, she became dead to me. And so when my mom and I would speak of her, I called her, or I refer to her as that girl, that woman, her. Like, I refused to say her name because I was so hurt. How could you? How could you? So, my mom and I, when that day came, I think we left out by like a Monday. And so my mom and I are packing up the taxi, taking trips back and forth we went back to the Red Roof Inn. And so we're taking the taxi back and forth to the Red Roof Inn, into her apartment, to collect our belongings and move things in there. And honestly, and my mom and I had talked about this, honestly, we were happier there, where it was just her and I, than staying with those other people. The energy was different. The environment was different. It was not our ideal place to be, but it was better than where we were. And we eventually moved into another townhome where we used to live. And when we first moved into that area, when I was in middle school, we finally had we eventually moved into another townhome. Things started to unfold for us. My mom started looking into different places to stay. She started looking back into just that area that we had, that we were familiar with. We had been back there since I was like in 6th grade. I was about to say 5th, but 6th grade. So we moved back there. So we moved back there, and for a while, because all of our things were in storage, for a while my mom and I slept on an air mattress. We watched DVDs on my laptop, and still to this day, and I could probably recite this whole movie. It's The Great Debaters. If you don't know that, I am a pre-law student, so we watch like The Great Debaters over and over and over again. That was like one of our favorite movies to watch. And we were happy there. And then eventually we were able to get our belongings out of storage. But yeah, my mom and I shared an air mattress. We didn't watch, like, we didn't have our TV, like, we didn't have half of our things. And that's how we entertained ourselves. For internet, we had to go up to Dunkin' Donuts to get Wi-Fi so she can do whatever work she had to do, and I just kept myself occupied like that. We would walk all the way up top to Walmart, grocery shop, and walk all the way back, or we would take the bus. We would take the bus, you know, around that little area to Walmart, to excuse my countryness, so to Dunkin' Donuts, and to make the best of our situation. So we stayed there till I finished my junior year of high school. By this time, by July, we had moved out, I believe. Yeah, by July we had moved out. And we moved to where we are living now. I live in Fulton County, which is basically I live in South Fulton, so I basically live near Atlanta, so near downtown, near the city, where everything happens. I'm 20 minutes away. So like I said earlier, I'm always at Atlantic Station, and that's 20 minutes away. And we almost experienced being evicted again. Like I said, by this time, this is my mom's 5th year of unemployment. And I was in high school, and so I'm doing senior stuff, stressing out about senior stuff, then trying to go to prom, trying to make everything happen and have a successful senior year. And we did change churches as well. So we left that church where all of these people that play a role in this story, we left that church just because because I dance. So I'm a dancer. I've been dancing since I was about 5 or 6 years old. So I did praise dance at that church, and a lot of people were leaving that church. A lot of the youth was gone, but just since we had moved here and we started attending that church, my spirituality, my spiritual needs, everything spiritual, I can't think of how to explain it, but I was not being spiritually fed. So, not really saying that my spirit was weak, but I wasn't even, we was going to church every Sunday. I just didn't understand the word. And it was just because of the way that the bishop preached. He preached more towards the older crowd. So I didn't understand a lot of the terms or a lot of the lingo or the way he preached. I wasn't into it. So a lot of times I would be trying to fall asleep in church or whatever. I did usher and stuff. I did stuff around the church. But as far as when it came down to the word, I didn't understand it. I even got the NIV version of the Bible, but I just did not understand. The examples, the real world examples versus the Bible examples. I didn't understand the compare and contrast and all of that stuff. So when we started attending where I go to church now, at my godfather's church where we started attending church, I started to have more encounters with God. My mom and I really both, we started to get stronger in our walk with God throughout this situation, and a lot more things started to work out in our favor. I fasted for the first time, everything, while I was under this influence of my church. Greater things started to happen for me. I started to break out of my shell. I started to just do a lot more. Since I live in the city, I'm closer to a lot more things, so I can, go out into the city and go shopping, go to the mall, go to movies. I started to experience more freedom as well. As far as like being in the cabin, being like 30-45 minutes away from everything, having to take a bus, this and so, I could just take Marta and go here and there and take a shuttle, whatever, or just walk across the street, and then be at like perimeter or something. Like, a lot of things were easier for me to get to. And where I was attending church became, my church is like my family. So like, my godfather and my godmother, that's my mom, that's my dad. You know, they're my spiritual brothers and sisters and aunties and uncles. That is my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've seen me at my worst, and they're seeing me become better. And they're so funny. They're just like, girl, I'm so glad I know you. And don't forget us. Don't forget the little people. Like, they're always cracking jokes. And I'm like, I go to church here. I go to church here, girl. Like, I'm here. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere unless like I have someone, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I love my church. I love them so much. And you know, when I look at a married couple, I aspire my marriage to be like my pastor and my first lady. Like, they off the chain. They're so funny. They're so free. They're free, but I don't want to make it seem like in a like over your head type of free. But like, they're funny. Like, they crack jokes. They have just this beautiful spirit and this great energy. They're funny. I love their kids. You know. And it's just a great place to be, you know, like our motto says, it's a safe place to grow. Like, it really is. And I've become such a better person. I have more patience. Like, a lot of things have definitely come to pass. And I'm happy where I am. And as far as where we are now, you know, of course, I graduated from high school. I had a fear that I was not going to graduate my senior year. Oh my God, that is another story to tell. When I tell you, from out of this, like, school-wise, I didn't think I was going to graduate high school, because Georgia has all these standardized tests, and I stress out easily, and I had to take like the math portion several times, and so I was stressed out about that. I didn't think I was going to graduate high school. It was a lot. I was under a lot of pressure those last 2 years. So, you know, like I said, now I'm in college. My mom, she's, you know, working at, I want to say this is like her second or her third year with her company that she's with. And, all in all, my mom, like, she's always been a hustler. She's always, you know, like, throughout this whole test and trial situation, she, you know, like, sells Mary Kay. She does sell Tricks and Lynn as well. So she was making extra money here and there as well to, like, help provide for us on top of what, you know, what little we had, to make ends meet. So she does that, and then she has her job, and then other things I really don't want to speak on. Like, that's her business, so I'm not going to speak on that. But it's other things that's about to happen for her. And then I'm, you know, doing my own thing. Like, I'm just this little creative and entrepreneur person, so I have some things that I'm working on I can't really, you know, speak on. So I'm like, you guys would just, I would take you guys along the journey when everything starts to unfold itself. So I really hope you guys, if you stay to the end of this video, I really hope you guys just stay along with me and with this journey. I'm sorry if I'm like looking to the side, like, my camera keep cutting off, and it's just I feel like a weight has lifted off of my shoulders telling the story. This is something like a goal that I wanted to do in 2016, but it didn't happen. So to start off my year right, 2017, you know, I'm going to take one of my goals that overflowed into the new year and just go ahead and do it. So this will probably be my first video of the new year. Look, I really hope that this video inspired someone, that really helped someone get through their tough time, because this is just a rough patch. You have so much more life to live. You're going to be better. You're going to be greater. Everything that you want, do it. I literally lived my biggest fear. When I see homeless people, it breaks my heart. And I'm just like, God, we could have gotten to that point, but we didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, like I always tell people, like I learned to not complain so much. I don't want to say I don't complain because I probably do, but I try not to complain. You know what I'm saying? It's always someone else who has it worse than you. It's someone else that always has it worse than you. So don't even think that you have seen the worst circumstances, because 9 times out of 10 you haven't. And you know, whatever your faith is, whoever you pray to, whoever you believe in, even if you don't believe in anything, you believe in yourself, you know, stay prayed up, keep believing, read the word, you know, whatever your faith and your belief in, whatever you feel that is best for you, just stay strong, you guys. Just stay strong. Like my dad used to tell me when I was a little girl, just keep your head up. Keep your head up. Like, cause it's gonna come to an end soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't mention this in the video, but like I said, I hustled. I did things I wasn't even supposed to do at school. Like, I was selling cake at school to make some money. I was selling cake for $1. And, you know, when you're in high school, whatever, you're not supposed to sell, like, your own stuff. Like, people was getting suspended for selling, like, candies and stuff. I was selling to the teachers and administrators. And, you know, like, the disciplinary people. Like, I was selling to everybody. I was making my money. I had people text me at 6 o'clock in the morning telling me you bringing cake today? And yeah. You know, I was making chocolate and red velvet, and people that didn't eat that was like, oh, if you make strawberry, or if you make key lime, or if you make this, I'll buy some from you. So guess what? I took what they said and I made it. I carried a little bag with just my cake in it. I mean, people was texting me and looking for me to come buy cake from me. You know, so invest in yourself. Take whatever little bit of money you have, whatever little bit of food stamps, whatever you have, take it and make some money. Make the best out of your situation. Make the best out of your situation. And that is it for this video, you guys. I hope this inspired someone. I hope this was, you know, I hope this video was able to connect with someone, to help get someone through. Comment your thoughts, comment, you know, whatever you have to say down below. I'm reading it. I check my emails, notifications come through my phone, so I will try to respond to everyone, like, as much as I can. I love talking to my subscribers, and we're almost at 1,000, you guys, so make sure that you are subscribing. Make sure you like, share the videos, like, just, I love you guys so much. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the dollhouse. I greatly appreciate you. And if you need a blessing, be a blessing. Bless somebody else, you know, in order to get a blessing, be a blessing. So, you know, kindness is free. Being a blessing is free. Do something out of the kindness of your heart. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.